We begin in Florida, where tensions are high and decisions critical in Donald Trump's classified documents case. Special counsel Jack Smith's team will be face-to-face with Judge Aileen Cannon today for the first time since Smith signaled that he might use what has been euphemistically known as the nuclear button to try to get her thrown off the case. Well, today, his prosecutors will fight attempts by two of Trump's co-defendants to get the charges against them thrown out. But big picture, it's clear from scathing court filings that Smith is increasingly frustrated with Judge Cannon over her handling of the trial. From Trump, meanwhile, the opposite. He's been praising the judge on social media as respected, fair, and impartial. NBC's Ken Dilanian is outside the courthouse in Fort Pierce, Florida. Renato Mariotti is a former federal prosecutor and legal affairs columnist with Politico. Good to have you here, guys. So, Ken, what can you tell us about this? Explain what the hearing is all about, and could there be some fireworks considering what we've seen in filings?
Well, Chris, first, I think you're right to say that the subtext here is the frosty relationship, increasingly frosty, between Jack Smith's office and Judge Aileen Cannon. But today's hearing is not about the main character, Donald Trump. It's about the supporting cast, his two co-defendants, Walt Nauta, the valet, and Carlos de Oliveira, the property manager at Mar-a-Lago, who are accused of obstructing justice, in part by allegedly conspiring with Mr. Trump to destroy video surveillance evidence of Mr. Nauta moving boxes, something prosecutors say he lied about. And what the lawyers for both men are arguing today is that the prosecution hasn't met its burden here to prove that they acted corruptly, because the lawyers say they didn't really understand that there was a criminal investigation. They didn't understand the implications of these documents being subpoenaed. They didn't know the extent to which there was classified documents. All of that, by the way, disputed by the special counsel's office, which will argue in response that these are really questions for the jury. They are fact questions, not legal questions, which are the kind of thing that, normally are raised in a motion to dismiss. In a motion to dismiss, it's supposed to be about how the law applies to the case, and the judge is supposed to accept the facts as alleged as true. All of that said, as you rightfully pointed out, Judge Aileen Cannon has shown herself to be quite responsive to some rather interesting arguments by the defense in this case, and that's really the drama here, is will she give any credence to what normally would be a very long shot, a motion to dismiss an indictment at this stage? Chris.
So, Renato, we just did get the transcript of Walt Nauta's interview with the FBI, and the thing that caught all of our eyes was he repeatedly says he thought the boxes he was moving at Mar-a-Lago had newspaper clippings, hairspray, shampoo, not classified documents. Do you think the transcript backs up his and de Oliveira's efforts to get the charges thrown out?
I don't think so. I agree with Ken, but I'm going to go further. I think Longshot understates how high of a climb these co-defendants have to get these charges dismissed. Essentially, what is happening at this stage is the judge has to presume that everything that Jack Smith put in the indictment is true. She has to essentially assume that he's right about every fact and find that nonetheless, either he made such a mistake when he was writing it that he didn't even assert what he needed to assert to allege a crime. Okay, that's very unlikely that that's the case. Or that these statutes, of which other people have been charged across the country, are somehow unconstitutionally vague. In other words, they're so hard, it's so hard to contemplate that obstructing justice is something that might be against the law, that it's something that he wasn't on notice that this could potentially be a crime. Very, very steep. And I think even Judge Cannon's going to know that if she rules for the defendants and against Jack Smith as to these motions, she would expect to get reversed by the Court of Appeals.
So let me ask you about that frosty relationship, in Ken's words, between the judge and the special prosecutor and his team. The motions are piling up, right, including a number of them that deal with procedural issues that could or maybe should have been easily resolved. What's your take on the pace here and the way Judge Cannon is handling things?
There's no question whatsoever that she is in no hurry to move this case forward as to Trump. We're here talking today about motions that were filed by the co-defendants. Well, Trump also filed motions. She scheduled hearings on the motions by the co-defendants, but not on Trump's motions. Okay, so there's been numerous opportunities like this one where she has sort of let time lapse that could otherwise be used to move forward Trump's case. So I think that's unmistakable. Regarding her handling of some of the issues here, I mean, her jury instruction question posed to the parties was a head scratcher. She certainly made a number of bizarre moves. And, you know, some of them are just real head scratchers because, for example, if she was really trying to tank things for Trump or whatever a lot of people believe, tipping her hand in those jury instructions maybe wouldn't be the most savvy way to do it. On the other hand, I think there's no question that she's favorably inclined towards Trump's views. And I do agree with Ken that the anger and frustration from Smith's team is becoming more and more evident in the filings, which is dangerous because obviously she has a lot of power in her hands, and the standard to get, for example, a recusal a motion granted is extraordinarily high.
Renato Mariotti, Ken Dilanian, thank you both so much.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.